Welcome, Divine. Welcome. I hope you guys are enjoying the goodies in the bundle. I have to tell you about it, and it goes right in line with this reading. I pulled the cards and I said, what additional could we have for the twins? And the additional that I got for the twins was all about money. I said, well, okay, we're talking about abundance. That's good. But one of the things that came to me was, you guys know I struggled. I think the upload time, I had like 3 hours it was going to take me to upload the video for the Spiritual Psychic Gifts video. And I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. All right, so you're just going to throw this stuff, in a Think If It's Cool, and this is how we're going to do it. And it might take, a few weeks or so while YouTube is figuring everything out. But I had no idea during that time period that I was being guided. Which, see what I mean? about understanding your divine nature. Because we're constantly ascending. You understand? So I said, well, okay, what is all of this about? Because once I did it, it was like, no. It was like, you're still going to put the Spiritual Psychic Gifts out on YouTube, but this is going to be where you put extended readings in. And yes, the price is $3.33. And yes, they will be able to get many extendeds, and it will be a way in which you can help to not only identify what's going on, but actually give support on how to get through it. And I love getting the feedback from you guys that you've recognized, okay, I went exactly through that motion. That is exactly what happened. I mean, it's perfect. And people beyond are going to be able to come and they're going to be able to read that. And they're going to understand, okay, so this is a situation that I had with my family member, my friend, my counterpart, my DM, my DF. They're going to be able to see that. And that's an energy exchange. That's an energy exchange. And I was new to the word energy exchange. I was new to that. Because, I've only been here 3 months. And I just came in the tail end of the energy, right? It was like, look, the energy is getting ready to get intense. And I need you to go to YouTube. I'm like, I'm doing a practice here. Well, I'm here, and it looks like I'm here to stay because we are beginning a new season. Of course, you can tell the beginnings are coming in. So you are seeing the platforms, you are seeing the new DMs and DFs rising. It's a beautiful, beautiful time. And I know you're wondering, okay, well, what? But it's levels to this thing. It is levels to this thing. And the reason why I know that it's levels to this thing, because this reading is all about the divine feminine and the divine masculine's money, honey. This is about your money. Why? Because we get paid for this. We get paid to heal. We literally get paid to heal. That's your job. If you've wondered why you've been up and down and you couldn't figure out, okay, why am I into this but not into this? Or why was I into this and then I'm done with this? Because, we have experiences and we have different assignments that we go on for various things. But you get paid for healing. You are healing the earth. You heal yourself. You heal your generation and ancestral lines. And you heal the planet Earth. There are due rewards for that. You don't just have bad karma, not have good karma. What kind of system would that be? Absolutely not. So you get paid for this. And I received a reminder of that. And it was just like, okay, yes, you have all this, because I wasn't even thinking about it like that. And it was like, look, you got to have a steady income on this thing, You are to be paid. You are to be paid. And no, we don't beat each other over the head because we don't need it. We are wise. You get divine guidance. You get divine guidance. And divine guidance says you can do it like this. And you can charge my people only $3.33. And they will get readings extended all week long, which exceeds what you receive. You understand, whenever I was doing this, there had to be direct contact through the line, honey. And it was like $3.99 a minute, honey. And it like, let me tell you who you are. Then I ended up having to go up under tutelage of someone, and I had to pay, and I had to pay big money to understand myself. And the divine is like, we're not doing that anymore, okay? Because once you understand yourself, then big money comes, and I'm going to tell you, then you come back. You come back, and you double it back, or you pay it forward. That's how this divine system works. And that's why we don't think so heavily about money whenever we take these platforms, because you're so used to the divine system of money. I get nice things and I get money, but it comes in these really interesting ways. And you'll notice that whenever you overcome something, that this magical way comes and delivers these karmic good rewards to you of all sorts of things. Just last week or so, I was emailed about a donation that I received, and hugs to you again. They were like, I want to send you this donation, and now I'm getting ready to branch off to my platform. And see, that was an exchange of energy. I learned about paying upward back when I was heavy in religion. I had money going everywhere. There was these ministers who mentioned, you pay upward. And I didn't understand it until I got into the divine platform, in which I have to let go of things and shift and shake at any given moment. And when you're living a divine life, honey, you can't really depend on traditional income systems. You will learn quickly that things shift, and you can become fearful if you believe that what you currently have is all you have. What you have in the physical, if you believe that's all you have. That's not so. Every dollar and dime and energy that I had sent out came directly back to me whenever I needed it, and it still does. So you have the spiritual bank. And this is that energy exchange that, many are talking about, because they're knowing that if I pay into this with you, then it returns back to me. It returns back to me, often tenfold, many times, It's such a beautiful system. All right, so here we go. The reason why this reading is so amazing is because we start out with the moon, and I was like, okay, well, what are we talking about, Because you think, okay, the divine feminine, divine masculine, what is it? Because I knew that the masculine energy was uprooting a lot of things at this point, but the divine feminine knows exactly what's going on. But this is, when we look at the financial, and you look at those Lenormand cards, and I was like, I like these cards. So I'm like, tell me the gist of where you're going with this, and then let it flow. And when you look at the Lenormand with this is that when you go into the moon, it's that interest rate changing, that fluctuating, that fluctuating of the market. So this is money going up and down, money going up and down. And this is what the divine feminine and the divine masculine have dealt with for some time on their divine journey. It's one of the biggest struggles of the divine feminine and divine masculine on their journey, because they don't understand the divine system of money. So if they don't understand the divine system of money, which is something I was telling you about, I had to learn that. And I recognized that in the times that the divine needed for me to make a shift, I questioned my physical money. And the divine is like, you have a divine account. No, I don't have no password for that. Ain't got no password for that. I can't spend that nowhere. I ain't trying to hear that. It's like, no, you have a divine account. And it's like, well, what is that? All that upward giving and those energy exchanges that you do, they are what cushion your season changes. And what I recognize is that I would miraculously receive money and gifts. Miraculously receive money and gifts. And they would blow me away. They still do. That's still what happens. They still do. And it's so amazing. But it teaches you not to be so money focused in the way that the 3D world is, to a point of destruction. A lot of times that self-care and self-love is put on the back burner because it's instructed along the 3D structure of how you bring in your funds. And the divine is like, yeah, you don't have the sweat of your brow, and you don't have to do all of that. See, it is given, laid up for you, then delivered to you. Your healing work, you're healing for yourself, you're healing for the generations, you're healing for the world. If there is a such thing as that bad karma, then there is good karmic rewards. You get paid for your service. So you lose touch in trying to figure out how to get paid, because you just know that you're going to get paid. You kind of get dependent on that divine system. So the divine has to kick in different ways. It's like, no. You got to get balance. You got to get balance. And what I'm getting from this is that divine feminine and divine masculine have to have a balancing of income that is coming in. Why? Because that's part of it. I can't have you identifying yourself as the divine when you're broke, busted, and disgusted. Why? Because you're not able to rest into your divine nature. Why? Because your coins and pentacles are off. So what's happening right now is that's being highlighted. Well, then these three cards come out together, and it's like, what is this? So it's 10, then it's 10, okay? 10 of diamonds. Then we go in right in here, and we have that masculine. So we know the masculine energy is at work. And that would make sense, because that masculine is that mind, that logical, that achieving, that determined, you know? So that's that masculine side. So that is affecting the twins right now. And it's like, hey, we got to get our money right. You have to get your money right. And the way you get your money right is to learn a new way. And that's how we know that this is coming in, because it's almost like with this card, it comes in and it goes in, it's the negotiations. So it's almost like you've been negotiating with yourself back and forth on what's your value, what you're supposed to have, what you're supposed to do. And it's like, no. See, when we come in here, it comes into balancing the book, which goes into the wisdom and knowledge that you already know. And it's like, you know this stuff. So it's about balancing the knowledge of what you know about yourself, which is that you affirm your value. You affirm your value, and you allow yourself to be guided in position as to what it is that's necessary for you to reach that level of balancing of income. It's balance you on the internal, then it balances it external. But internally there seems to be an issue there that's going on that's causing an issue with getting that hierarchy. Yes, that music went up, so we hit it. To get in that hierarchy of that masculine funds in which the divine are being put in position for. We're in the process of a wealth transfer is what's coming through. And the reason why I had to pull additional cards, because I was like, okay, am I sure? So I needed 3 additional cards. So here we go right here. So you have right there the hope, but you have the hands out receiving the light. So that lets you know that this is a divine gifting that is coming through, that the divine has set up for you to receive your karmic good rewards. The issue is that the divine feminine and divine masculine has gotten so used to stuff not working out. The reason we know that, because it's like, okay, it's like balance. It's balancing that internal knowledge. And then here we go with that mental conflict. So it's like they're stuck in a box as to how they view money, how they view their money, how they view their worth, how they view how they get everything that they get, you know? And it's just like, it's not like that. The system is not like that at all. And it's kind of what I was telling you guys. I tried to upload a video. It told me 3 hours. I said, look, I can't do 3 hours. I have things to do, you know. And if you know, we can go to the 3s. I've only been on here within 3 months. I was led here because it's like the energy is getting high and you got to get in there, you know. I'm like, where? Yeah. And I'm here. So it's like, you have to be able to flow. And then here I am, I go and I upload that video. I tried to, and it was about 3 hours. I bet it's gonna upload now after this reading. But it was about 3 hours or so, and I said, look, this isn't gonna work. You already have a system in place that you use for your practice. Allow this stuff to be shifted over. Allow this stuff to be shifted over. So here I am thinking this is going to be a few weeks while YouTube updates all their stuff, and the divine is coming in saying, no, this is how you're going to do it, because there does need to be that exchanging of energy, because they are taking platforms. But not only that, we need them to have a private area, because there's 2 additional coming in as well. Some are going to want to be open, some are not going to be. Everybody needs options to have their extended, options to have their monthly, to know what's going on and how to get through it. Really big stuff that I didn't even think about. I'm just like, I don't have time. You know, and I had to think about the time period where I went in, and I determined that this was something that I had to discover. Well, it was like $3.99 a minute, you know, to understand who you are. And the divine is like, we're not doing that anymore. We need mass production, okay? And that is where that shifting came in. So what I thought was a technical difficulty was the divine setting up a business plan, 1, for energy exchange, and 2, for wealth transfer. And it was simply that you will receive income from this, but it will be an amount in which it shifts the divine in understanding that it does not take much for us all to divinely abundantly rise. So it is bringing in that humanism within the concept of finances and abundance. Well, we think of each other. We think of each other into increase. And that's where that wisdom comes in. That wisdom comes in. So many of you are discovering that you're being shifted into new ways of having to think about how you're going to bring in this divine money that is flowing into you, hands open. And it really is about getting in a receiving mode and understanding that when you're directed to your funds within the divine, that it is this unique way in which you're directed to your money. You'll also notice that those within the divine, that it might be whisper, 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 and then pew, they shoot up high, and everybody's like, who's that? Which means that you're going to put your work out there, you're going to put your content out there, you're going to put your products out there, and that you don't know the time. You don't know the time, you don't know the place, you don't know the who, you don't know the where. And then you go pew. And that is in which your finances roll in. But one of the key pieces to that is getting out of that mental conflict, which is that it takes so much of me to bring it in. It takes so much of me. And it's like, well, if it takes so much of you, then what good is it gonna be when you get it? You know? I love to see the transitional places within these cards. And one of the transitional places that we have is the moon card, which we go with that, which is that 32, okay? So we can put those 2 together, and then we have the 5, which is also a period of change. So we know that this is a motion of change that the divine feminine and divine masculine is going through when it comes to their money. And it's not as so simple as this mental conflict that we thought. Because it's like what we're getting within this transition, we transition this within the knowledge book that comes up here. And then we also have the holding of the wisdom card with the book, which is also a 5. So, and then this goes in with the 10, which is endings and beginnings. So we know that this is heavy, and we know that we have our masculine, so we know that masculine energy is uprootingness. Why? Because this is something that's needed to be handled in the collective of twin flames. Why? Because you're on the front lines to do what? Shine your light. And in shining your light in the world and system that we have, it's a particular system in place. And that's why we're going through wealth transfer. You're going to see it in many areas. You're kind of already seeing it. So this transition is knowing the secret, emotionally secret, the emotion secret. So what is happening right now is that the divine feminine and the divine masculine are tackling something really, really big. What gave me this mental conflict around money? Why do I have these fears? Why do I have this scarcity mindset? Why is it that I gave so much and did not receive? Why is it that I wasn't having those reciprocal relationships would also turn into being also with those finances? So there's not being an exchange. When we speak of energy exchange, there is an exchange that takes place. And that exchange that takes place is a part of what identifies the heightened of the value. And when we think about, even with Jesus Christ and the birth that, we just went through the rebirth, but think about the original birth. This is before Jesus even done anything. Jesus just rolled on the scene straight out of Mary. And straight out of Mary, what is one of the things that you guys recognize in those nativity scenes whenever you were younger? Or you can even look now. I think they still do those displays everywhere. Just roll up in a church during the holidays to see if they're doing the plays still. But this card wisdom, and you see that. The whole look is just reminding me of that whole scenario. And they came in and they had giftings. They had giftings for Jesus, and Jesus hadn't even done anything yet. But that divine nature is a nature that you give to your presence on this earth is so valuable. You are so valuable. You don't know it. You don't know it. That's the mental conflict. You don't know it. So you're thinking that you're not as worthy as you are. So it's like, well, do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do that? And it's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you charge. It doesn't matter what you produce. But in here, I need you to know that you are valuable. Which means that 1 million people can pay you $1 and you'll be a millionaire. Or you can choose the route of 500 people pay you that. Or you could choose the route of one person pay you $1 million. I don't care how you get it. I don't care what you give them. I don't care what you charge. I care if you think you're worthy, if you think you're deserving. See, it's better to give than to receive wasn't the message to the divine. The divine don't have a problem with that. In fact, the divine has had to work on pulling that back. They OD'd on that. You understand? The divine, that wasn't a message for you. That was a message to takers. That was an instruction. That's an instruction given to someone who has trouble giving. The divine doesn't have a problem with that. The divine has to learn how to set boundaries. The same way Jesus walked through a crowd and he didn't stop for everybody. The same way when at the pool of Bethesda, Jesus said, get up and take your mat. You sitting here waiting on it. What are you waiting on? So that is the messaging that is received. Yeah. So it's the same thing. That is what the divine is dealing with right now. The divine is having to understand that there is value in what you give, and it is not given to everybody, and it is to be sought out to some extent, which means that he had to get up before he got his healing. You understand? Why? Because that exchange is important. Why? Because we're made up of energy. And if there is not an energetic exchange that is happening, then there's not an energetic exchange that is happening. You know, and you can give and you can give and you can give. But it is very important. It's very important that receiving is possible. On the other end, otherwise, it's just a one-show transaction. Yeah, it's a one-show transaction. You understand? Meet me down below. We are going to go into the extended on this. We have still to go into there's a transition from the 10 to the 28, which is that shun, that exiled, and that esteem that's affecting the money. Being separated from those, the esteem. Then there's also a transition from the 28 to the 10, which is that abusive man and woman, that vampire, that injured soldier, you know? So when you think about that injured and things of that sort, it's that feeling as if you're obligated to take care of. So we got to get into all that. We got to get into all that. So I will see you down below. And remember, you get extended on everything, okay? So everything from this past week is there. Extended on the feminine, extended on the masculine, extended on the karmic, and extended right here on this financial reading and spiritual psychic gifts. We're going to try to put that other video out